Testimony Jaga went to the Honest Bunch podcast and he addressed the issue between Moses Bliss and Ebuka's songs. According to Testimony Jaga, that if not that Moses Bliss is a disciplined gospel minister, that Ebuka's songs is supposed to be behind bars for breaching the contract he signed with Moses Bliss. I'm a reactor. I do gist and reactions. Let us listen to Testimony Jaga and then come back.
When Ebuka is a good guy, but to be honest, let's remove sentiment. He's supposed to go to jail. He betrayed the contract. Forget that when you were poor is when you signed the contract. But who tell you to sign it? It's my boy. He knows I love him. But truth be told, this is honest, whatever show you call it.
Honest bunch.
Thank you, darling. But guess what? Moses, please let it go. Because if you are trained by love word, we don't fight for anything. Who do you fight? See, when you have a father, you can't behave like a bastard. Hey, you will think of your father and think of the home you are coming from. Do you think someone like me will just come tomorrow and be talking when I know past? Where I go first think of God, then think of Pastor Chris first, then think of my godmother, then think of my mother and think of my children before I take any action. Because once I mess up, many people go, you go there. But when you don't have any rope within your yash, everywhere you go, they penetrate until you penetrate where you need to go break.
Testimony Jaga actually said something very important. And this is the aspect of Gospel Minister Moses Bliss that I really like so much. You see, one thing I've noticed about gospel ministers that we are trained from Christ Embassy is that they are very, 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 very careful with their performances and their display on social media. See, I always tell people, you think running a record label is a joke? You think running a record label is easy? Wait until you do it. Or wait until you have somebody that ran a record label or is currently running a record label. That is why when this Messichinwo and Easy Concept issue started, I always tell people then, see, in a record label, there will be fracas. There will be issues. It is not easy to raise people or to coordinate people, especially when money is involved. That one or two fracas will not come up. But the most important thing is, how are those fracas handled?
So that conversation about say, if God don't call you to ministry, you know, suppose they put price. See, the nature of God is to reward every man. Say that again. The nature of God is to reward every man according to their work. If a good pastor says he is a pastor and have the nature of God, you will always reward everybody who comes to minister in your church the way God will do it for them.
So, the way Moses Bliss stepped away from Ebuka's songs issue, focused on his record label and other things, needs to be studied. In fact, there's one of his record label guy that is behaving funny now. We are not seeing him with the record label. He's just acting funny. Moses Bliss is not saying anything about it. He's focusing on his focus. Like I said here, I remember when Moses Bliss and Ebuka's songs issue came up. I'm one of those bloggers that was telling Moses Bliss that, my dear, try and tell the world your own side of the story. You know why? If you don't do it, people will judge a matter for you. Try and tell the whole world your own side of the story indirectly. Just look for a way and just, put it out there. And after Moses Bliss did that, even me that before, I used to say, I don't know what happened though. Now I know what happened. I know who went wrong. It was Ebuka songs that went wrong. And that was how this name was cleared. Because I do not understand why you will sign a record label deal for, I think, 3 years. And in 7, 8, 9 months, correct me in the comment section, you're coming out to say this, that, the other one. To the extent that a song you sang on that record label won an award, and you could not even give the accolade to your ex-record label boss. If it were to be some bosses, this case would have either been an EFCC case, or they'll be going for court proceedings, or it would have escalated. But I love how Moses Bliss handled everything. And I'm very sure these were the things that made Ebuka's songs also sit down and realize that he has gone wrong. That was why during Moses Bliss' birthday, he had to say, oh, Moses Bliss was part of those that helped his gospel career. This is one thing I've noticed about love word artists. You can see the fracas that has been going on since Frank Edwards, Sinat, Pastor Chris, those clips of where Pastor Chris was talking about gospel ministers that have been training. Did you hear them say anything? No. There's a training gospel ministers who are from Christ Embassy receive that other gospel ministers lack. And I'm not saying this to berate them, but the difference is just too clear. The difference is just too clear. Testimony Jagger that is talking now was the same person that when Mercy Chinwo's issue came out, he came out to drag Easy Concept. And I remember telling Testimony Jagger then that if you have not run a record label, you will not understand Mercy Chinwo and Easy Concept issue. Fracas must always come up. But it is how those fracas are handled that matters. If Testimony Jagger is coming out to say, oh, Moses Bliss did well by not even taking Ebuka songs to court or to EFCC and all those agencies for breaching contract, why is he not saying the same thing to Mercy Chinwo too? Why? Because Mercy Chinwo too also breach contract. See, I'm one person that I like to stand for the truth. Because the Bible said that at the very last days, it is the truth that will set you free. Why is Testimony Jagger not also telling Mercy Chinwo the same thing? Because according to what we have heard online and documents we have seen online, Mercy Chinwo also breached contract. She was still in the record label, and according to the videos we saw online, we heard that she was going for shows and was collecting the money into her own personal account. We heard all those things. And we even heard how the thing escalated to EFCC and the rest. The only part I blame Easy Concept is using parties that have no respect for the body of Christ to fight this battle. That's the only part I blame Easy Concept, where VDM was involved and everything. So that is where I always say, you see record labels, if you have not run a record label, you will never understand that grooming artists and, the relationship ending on a good terms is very, very hard. If things like this are being done in our gospel record labels, what do we now expect from the secular record labels? What do we expect? Some of these things have done so well in that part. So for me, if I see something that is good, I will say it. Moses has done so well. The fact that he has been able to run his record label for years, no scandals. No, I know it is not easy. I know there are times where he just wants to come out and lambast those who have left his record label in a bad note. But he just understands that, who am I actually coming to judge this matter? To let God fight and judge this matter for me. He has tried over the years to be able to stay out of drama, to be able to stay out of scandal, and still keep the dignity of his record label intact. See that part? I give it to Moses, please. And this is not setting a good pedestal for gospel artists or gospel record labels, because other gospel artists will just come in and feel that they can flaunt others, they can flaunt contract and go free. Why? Because others are going into it and going free. Why? Is it not supposed to be gospel record labels that are supposed to even obey contracts the more? But guys, feel free to drop your own opinions in the comment section. I'm a reactor. I do just reactions. I'll see you in my next one, guys. Bye bye.